I started TikTok in 2020 when COVID hit. So when I got on there, it was like, everybody was still doing the dances, you know, the burr, 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 and I was like, that's cool. But you keep scrolling, and there were some people that were really showing like organic content, like their everyday life. So I was like, I'm going to use this to show me being a bigger woman and being confident and being, you know, all of the things. And people just gravitated towards that. I had a sense of humor. I said curse words. I was just myself. And I guess people just liked the like realness, rawness, don't hide anything, be who you are and be proud of it. And I think that is what jump started the following at that point.
Emily, welcome to the Mad Men Pod.
Men go mad.
He's gone mad.
Mad Men.
You're mad.
The man's mad.
Mad Men.
I'm mad.
So Emily is a good friend of mine now, and I asked her to join us. Emily is building an amazing platform on TikTok and Instagram and doing all the things. It's such an honor to have you on the show, and I can't wait till everyone hears about how you built this insane platform you've built and just your background. Would love to hear it. So.
It's crazy. It's been crazy. It's been like just an adventure that like just small town girl from Tennessee, like just a mama doing my mama things, and people for some reason like me. No clue why.
Well, we like you a lot, and we've known you for a while now.
Yep.
But so let's talk about that. You're an average mom, and you've been an average mom, just normal Southern wife.
Yep.
And now you have a following of over 500,000. Yeah, I think you grabbed it right at the right time where TikTok was all about authenticity. It was such a different feeling than what was happening on Instagram. Instagram was all this facade of like the perfect photo.
Oh yeah, filters.
Yeah, and then TikTok was like just this breath of fresh air that, hey, we're normal people. And that is seriously like a huge thing about your content. It's like the most real content it's very raw. It's a really interesting discussion because you've had a few different TikToks hit. You've had some really personal ones just with you being the center, and then one of your husband.
Yes.
So he got reposted by like ESPN and Barstool and whatnot. Like, do they come and talk to you?
There have been a few, like not a lot, honestly. Like I think Barstool came and talked to me and asked if they could repost the video. Of course, I don't have a manager. Everything I do myself. I don't have somebody going through my emails. I don't have somebody replying to stuff. I have brands reaching out to me all day. I'm doing all that. I never have taken the step to hire a manager. But I would look at my DMs and there was, it had started reaching like 10 million, 20 million, and they were reaching out asking. So I was just like, yeah, sure, you can repost it and tag me. So they were doing that. And then the more million views it got was like right now, I think it has like 51 million views, which is insane. My husband eating crackers. And people just know there have been big platforms that have reposted it and haven't paid me a dime, haven't asked if they could use the content. So it's just being reposted. People are recreating it, which is fine. But people with, like large platforms like Instagram that have several million followers where it's being seen and they're getting paid for those views, I don't get a dime off that. No. Wow. So it's very few have reached out and actually asked, if they could use it.
Well, and I mean, let's talk a little bit more about your husband.
No, okay.
So
I love him.
You're everything that I feel like I've heard about him is just like,
oh gosh, he's just a good old like Southern boy, works his butt off, and like the thing about the peanut butter and crackers, I have to tell it, is his grandpa was the closest person to him in the world. They were always together. He like lived over there. He loved him so much, thought so much of him, and he passed away. And he said that is how his granddaddy used to sit on the couch and eat peanut butter and crackers. And he has done that since we've been together. And I was used to it, but I saw him doing it one night and I was like, you know what? I think people need to see this. I think, and his granddaddy's name was Harold. And I was like, Harold would be proud if we shared this. And I just took it one night. We were watching like RuPaul's Drag Race. So we were sitting on the couch watching RuPaul's Drag Race and he's doing the peanut butter thing. And I posted it, closed the app, didn't think anything else about it. I pulled it up like an hour later and I was like, this has 5 million views in like literally an hour. And Alan, he's such a private person. He said, and he's an electrician. So he's like a superintendent electrician. And he said people recognize him on job sites. Like, are you the peanut butter dude? And he's like, yeah. And like, we got asked by like ridiculousness to repost the video. And Alan was like, Emily, I feel like that is so, he takes it as, there's so many people on TikTok who are genuinely talented, like playing instruments and dancing and doing things that are really require talent. And this is so damn stupid. And people like love this. And I'm like, dude, it's really neat though.
Yeah, it is neat. It's genius. Like I remember
outstanding.
the first time I saw it, I didn't even know it was your content.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm so used to seeing your content the way it is. And then you had posted this. And I was like, this is hilarious. This is so funny. And then
I didn't know it was me.
But so what does Alan think about your, like, when you first started posting?
I don't think he understood, because I was just doing my thing. I don't think he understood that I had, like, TikTok. He's, like I said, old school country boy. He does not have TikTok. He does not watch my TikToks. It's not because he doesn't care. It's just because he just doesn't. He doesn't check Facebook. He just does his thing. And he's proud of me for my success, but I still don't think that he really understands and grasps like the amount of success that 500, to me, that's huge.
That's
like
huge.
500,000 people is a lot of people, but I don't think that he grasps, like, dude, people kind of know who I am. Like, this is a big thing. He loves me for me, and, you know, the fame and stuff, he's been very supportive, but it doesn't change the way that he feels about me, which I think is really cool.
Okay. Well, was he challenging you at all when you were like spending time on it or anything, or you just saw that you were having fun with it?
No, he makes fun of me. Like, even when I'm doing like the Southern Grace lives or whatever, he will be like popping his head in the door like, girl, what you doing? I'm like, look, he's like, as long as you ain't doing OnlyFans, we're good. So I'm like, yeah. Man. He's very supportive.
That's awesome.
I don't think he can wrap his brain around it though.
So 500,000 again, that's like, in many cases, a lot of people can get 500,000, but what I feel like you have is a very loyal following. People go to bat for you. Like you told me a story about how someone was talking smack about your face, and your followers came after. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yes. Okay. So I posted a video. My babies, they're a little husky. They're just a little husky. I was husky. I was husky.
Too.
Like, they're fluffy. And so I posted a video of Reese, and it was him just being Reese, funny Reese. I don't see anything but just funny Reese. And some guy, I don't remember his name, but he posted about him called him fat, or said he was like 300 pounds at 7 years old or whatever. And I cried. Like, you can come at me all day long. I do not care. You can even talk about Alan. That's fine. He's grown. But my kids. So I made a video, and I was very upset. I had reposted the comment that he had left. And my followers, like you said, they're loyal, man. And some of them work for the FBI, I think, because they were like, boom, in an hour. I had DMs from multiple people like, this guy's name is this. He works here. It was at a school system. People were emailing the school system. I mean, and the very next day, he wrote me an apology DM and was like, I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have said that. And me being the grudge holder that I am, especially when you said something about my kid, I was like, all right, well, maybe you should think before you speak next time. So whatever's coming to you, I hope you get it. Like, not, I don't want you to pass away or anything, but like, that was crude. But the stuff that people can say behind the comfort of a computer screen is crazy.
It's nuts.
It's wild. People get really big balls.
Yeah, it's totally nuts. Well, because of your loyal following, you have gotten some really cool brand deals, and you're killing on TikTok Shop. But you have still decided to have your everyday normal job as well.
Yes.
Why?
Here's my thing, and I get asked this a lot. I do make good money, not on views. TikTok sucks. I want to make that public knowledge on paying for views. They don't pay me anything. That video with 50.4 million views, I made less than $2,000 off of that. Wow. 50.4 million views, less than $2,000. I've started, where you make money at is working with brands, and then TikTok Shop has been a great platform. But with the talk of like the bans on TikTok, and it's just, I think it's not as stable. I'm just worried that it's not stable. And I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of stability. My backup plan always has a backup plan. So I think TikTok right now is my main revenue, like for, my main where I'm monetizing. But I always have my backup, which is work. And I go back and forth because I'm like, should I do TikTok full time? Because if I wasn't working, because I'm off every Wednesday, but I work Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, 10-hour days. And those 10 hours, I can't post content. I can't make content. So am I screwing myself by doing this? And it's like an internal, and my husband's already said, whatever you want to do. But I'm just worried that it's not stable or that TikTok's going to get banned. And then what am I going to do? I'll be on the job hunt again. So I'm a creature of habit and stability. And that's all that me having the job is.
Well, and I think that's what's going to become the norm is like, I mean, you'll have people that have these insane followings and they still have to maintain something on the side, right? That's paying them for certain talent or for their time or whatever, right?
Yes.
They have to maintain a job. I think some of the recent studies that have come out is like influencers and people who have, or these large creators who do it for a living are actually not making as much.
Yeah, I heard your podcast, the last podcast. Who was the guy that you were talking about?
I forget his name, but yeah, he has, he has hundreds of thousands of followers, but he made 50-some thousand last year. Yeah. And this is on multiple platforms. So it wasn't just even TikTok, but the point is that like, that, it is interesting though, right? Because it kind of leads into another question is creators come and go, right? And, we recently had Hawk 2 Girl.
Oh,
goodness. And Alex Earl it felt like she just started and now she's killing it and things like that. But creators do come and go. Influence does come and go. What do you think the future of this kind of, or building a platform is like? I mean, what will people do to stay relevant for a long time?
I don't know. Like right now, I think the girl that I'm watching, that everybody's watching, that everybody's talking about, that everybody is being a trendsetter. Like it's Kylie Pitts. I don't know if you watch her, but she is awesome. She's a stay-at-home mom and she just documents her like day in the life. And she every day, it's like a tagline. Hey besties, good morning besties. And she has this little Southern accent and it's something that it's almost like a Netflix series. Like you can't wait to tune in for the next, like what's she doing today? And I don't know why I'm like this, but I feel like involved in her life. Like, her son Landry, I'm like, look at Landry today. He's so cute. And I think it's all about, just like finding, like she's an amazing storyteller. So you have to find what you do, put your little spin on it and stay relevant, just inventing new ways to like storytell, or I don't know what's going to be relevant in a year. So it's just about keeping up with things that are going on and putting your own twist on it. I think that's what she's been able to do. And she's been hella successful doing that. Yeah.
And it's like, I think we're always so busy looking at like what the Paul brothers or Logan Paul and Jake Paul are doing. They're building massive companies off their following and whatnot, but there's like this middle ground of people who just enjoy creating and that's just good enough for them. Yeah. Right. Like, and like getting famous is just a byproduct, right? Like, and so with that in mind, what was your first TikTok? Let's kind of go back in time. Do you remember what your first TikTok was?
The first one that hit it big was, it was something about my grandmother, because my grandmother always, how old folks are, blessed. It was like, she always wanted me to be skinnier because I was always real big. And she was like, Emily, you'd be so pretty if you lost weight. And it was something about no man's going to want you being that big girl. And it was me doing like a voiceover or something. I don't even remember what the voiceover it was now, but it was something. And that is something that people latched onto, was like, hey, we relate to this. And that is when my following started picking up. So it was like one of the trends that was going on at the time, but it was a personal story with me. And I was like, okay, this kicks off. So I just built on that. And when you were talking about people who do it just because they love doing it, I feel like that a big part of that is me. Like I was making zero money, like not even enough to sustain anything before TikTok Shop came out, because I said I wouldn't get paid for views. I wasn't getting paid for like anything at all, like barely anything at all. And I was still putting out content because I love putting out content. After that 50 million view peanut butter cracker, I was like, yeah, okay, you can use it. It was not solely about making money for me. It was like building the connections with people and finding like-minded people and being like, hey, I'm not the weird big girl in high school anymore. There are people out here like me. And I've really gotten to connect with a lot of really cool people that aren't like somebody that I would meet in my town.
So there's this term that I've like recently learned. It's called cringe mountain. And so anyone who wants to start posting, you're going to have to climb this mountain where it's going to feel very cringe for a long time. And so what is like, and people actually have this fear of like, what others in their town are going to think, what their cousins and their family's going to think. Like, I know I had this like weird feeling like, what are the people closest to me going to think when they start seeing my videos online, right? And I've eventually got past it, but like, what was your mindset to get past that?
I've been a person who I honestly have never cared what anybody thought, but I did experience a lot of that whenever I started. That for me was like showing my body. That was what was cringe to me. It's not my loud mouth. I've always had it. It's not the differing, opinions that I have from other people. I've always had them. It was showing my body on camera was my true cringe. So now when you see me put on that girdle that I wore last night that I had to squeeze myself into, my stomach's hanging out. I think I showed him my stomach in one of the videos for the jeans. And I have fully conquered that, but it's really, really, it was hard to do so in the beginning. But I think after you get so many people that are like, girl, you look fabulous. Girl, I look just like that. You almost feel like an advocate for those people. Yeah. And I have had people reach out to me and be like, girl, thank you so much for showing your stomach and for not being one of these girls on here on a bikini that, to show that you're a real person. Like, you are not perfect. You got the leg fat, and so now I almost embraced it. I'm just like I was changing in there today on today's live. And everybody was just like, even Jacob was like, like, you really going to change right here? And I'm just taking my clothes off. I don't think anything about it anymore. And it feels really freeing being able to get through cringe. I like that. Cringe.
So, but that's like, I mean, you, from an outside perspective, if I didn't know you, I would think, oh, she's Southern Bible Belt, right? Like, she's as Southern as it gets. She's probably super conservative. And then the more I get to know you, it's like, no, you have a different side of you. And do you feel like that was maybe, I mean, how were you able to expand on that identity with posting content?
So, like you said, I do come from the Bible Belt. We live in a very conservative town. It is Church of Christ based. There's a Church of Christ college in our town. I don't know if you would even believe it, but we couldn't have a prom. We had to have a banquet because there was no dancing allowed in my town. Whenever we were growing up, we had a banquet, not a prom, because you couldn't dance. You couldn't dance at talent shows. And I did not grow up super religious. And so I think I'm very open-minded, and it was scary to start posting content at first just because I'm not your typical Southern, I don't say swear words, and I don't talk about certain things. But I forgot the whole question.
No, but it's like, it's something that, like, I feel like you've been able to find this other personality out there that's a Southern personality that just is unapologetically loud and unapologetically proud of who they are.
And I think had I not started TikTok and just been myself, I wouldn't realize there are more people like that outside of my town that are like me. So many people relate to me that in my town, there's not a lot of people that really relate to me. Where on TikTok, it's like, girl, you are me. And I'm like, really? And it's just having connections with people outside of my small 2-stoplight town that it makes me feel like I fit in, because I feel like I've never fit in, but having people that relate to me and that accept me and support me for who I am, it's a really good feeling.
That is a good feeling.
Yeah.
So, what would you say if someone was to come up to you and say, I want to have what you have. I want to have your platform, but in my own way. What kind of advice would you give them?
First of all, I would say to just be 100% yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, thinks. It doesn't matter if it's a popular opinion. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What do you feel like you wish there was more of surrounding you? And for me, it was support for bigger women. It was support for women in general. It was support for all body types. It was support for wearing the fake hair and the makeup. And I built a community based on people who are the same as me. So I think it would honestly be find out what you're passionate about and be 100% yourself. Like, don't try to change. Don't try to mold to what anybody else is doing. Be yourself. Speak your mind. And find what you're passionate about, and you go after it. It doesn't matter. Post one video, it doesn't hit. Fine, cool. I have a lot of videos with millions of views, and I have some right now 2,000 views. Not every, you're going to have to build your success. keep posting. I know a lot of people say, post 3 times a day, make sure you're posting 3 times a day. And I think that that's just to kind of see if you can get on the FYP. But I think that if you're consistently passionate and one video hits, that's all that it takes. That's all that it took for me, was somebody to relate to one video. So just talk about what you know about and what you're passionate about, and be 100% yourself.
So do you ever feel like if you ever started a cooking channel, it's different than what you do. You do a lot of stories, a lot of like, you're sharing your thoughts. And then if you were to kind of take it a different route and go more the route of like cooking, like I was saying, would you create a whole new profile for that, or would you just do it on the same profile?
No, I think I would probably just do it on the same. I feel like for me, mine is a mixture of stuff. Like, it's not just body positivity. I have recipes on there. I just post a little bit of everything that's going on in my daily life. And part of that's cooking, part of that's makeup, part of that's clothes, part of that is funny mom stories and just stupid shit. Like, mine is a little bit of all me. It's not just one thing. So I feel like if I was going to start like a cooking thing, I would just incorporate it in with my videos.
So I think there's like this maybe misunderstanding about, stay in your niche, right? And I think
I've heard it.
Like, where you say stay in your lane and just do content on that. And if you decide to start posting new type of content, like, I'll tell you some of the things that hit for me on TikTok. I have nowhere near a following you do, but the ones that did hit were some funny content that would appeal to more of a Latin viewer, right? Like, it's more of a Mexican viewer, because it was about like my son, he would only drink milk if Selena was playing.
I saw that. Yes, and that's wild.
Yeah, and it was like the dumbest thing, but that got like 4 million views, and then or like 2 million. And then there was another video that hit for me with the famous country music singer. But I sat next to him on an airplane, and he was having like a ball, like he was just laughing, and people loved it. That got a few million views. And so I was like, these are very different videos, extremely different. And I guess like that kind of happened with you. Like, you had some of your videos that were very different, and then you had your husband's.
Yes, and I don't have, like, I have videos, and it's so weird. That's why I say I don't think that you have to stick within one niche of things, because I have recipe videos of like a potato salad, or it's a chicken salad that got like 500,000 views, and then over here with makeup got 1 million views, and then my husband eating crackers got this many views. So I feel like it's just it's just like a mishmash of things that I'm posting. I don't believe that you're one that has to stay inside your niche. I just believe post whatever you think somebody would want to see, and just be yourself doing it. Yeah,
and we're multifaceted people. Like, we have, you could be Southern, but cuss a lot, and you could be I could be Indian brown guy and then love country music, right? Like, we all have different things that we're just into.
Yes.
And it's like the content, if it's good enough, it'll hit, right?
Right.
Don't you agree?
Yes.
So how do you get past the idea of like, because I think everyone deals with this, every creator, and I'm guilty of this too. Every time you're posting, you're like, this is good content. Oh. And then it'll fall flat.
Yep.
Like, how do you deal with that? Like, moving past that, or like, do you repost it? What would you say?
Nope, I don't repost. I don't delete and repost, because I don't know. I don't delete and repost. I just let it sit. But there's like, it's so weird. The video of me, like, of Alan, that took 20 seconds to make, and I thought this is gonna go nowhere. And then the ones that I actually take time, do my lighting, have a full face of makeup, and I'm doing, that'll get nothing. And I'm like, well, there's 2 hours that I can't get back. And no, I don't repost it. I just let it sit. And then I'm like, well, we'll try it again. I always have that we'll try it again attitude. And I'm not even going to lie. I don't know what's up with the algorithm, with the views, but most of my shit right now is not going anywhere. There was one I posted the other day that got like 80,000, and I was shocked on that. But I just keep posting. I just keep going. Just go.
So what would you, so you gave some really good advice for someone getting started. What kind of advice would you want from someone that you maybe look at? Like, you talked about Kylie Pitts and, maybe there's some other creators out there. What is it, something that you wonder about? That how did they do this? How do they do that?
I think a lot of mine is, Like right now, and I know I keep talking about her, but I'm obsessed with this girl. I'm obsessed with Kylie Pitts. Like I want to know, like I see her filming her content, and I have tried to do like a similar thing just to see like how it would feel to film that way. And it's like a day in the life. And her stuff is, I guess mine's all technical stuff because I'm so used to filming. It's like she will show herself walking into the frame, and I'm like, how does she position the camera like that? And how is she like talking and then it's stopping and then it's talking over what she just said? Like I think it's all technical stuff, and I think that would be my main thing because I feel like I'm a pretty good storyteller. Like I could pull this together, but hers is just like so captivating. And I'm just like, how does she do that? Like I don't know. It's weird.
There are some technical things too that that makes content much more creative.
Yes.
That people start to leverage. What is like? So you're in your small town. People probably know you now, like that. She's the TikTok girl.
Yeah.
There's probably some funny stories that like you've read into people, or like what do people want to know about you?
So everybody from my hometown knows me, and they're all like, "Girl, we watched you on TikTok," which is so funny. And I'm not. I hate to be the grudge holder, but like these girls who gave me hell in high school, you know, called me fat, were awful. It's so funny to me to run into them at the ball field or at Walmart. Like, girl, we watched you on TikTok. I'm like, yeah, damn, that's great. You know, do you remember calling me a fat ass when I was in first grade? You know, and I will hold the grudge, but I'm like, oh well, yeah, hey girl. It's very weird how people change, which we've all grown up. None of us are in first grade anymore, but I will hold a grudge. And like when I go out in public, Aaron's been with me when I've gotten recognized sometimes, like in Ultas where I always get recognized, and it's always older women, which I love. It's always older women. It's not usually women my age, but they're like, you're that girl from the TikTok. And I'm like, I am. You're on TikTok? And she's like, oh yes ma'am, I watch all your stuff. And I was at Ollie's shopping one day. It's a little shopping center that's the town over because our town is so small. We have a Piggly Wiggly, 2 stoplights, so I had to go to the town over to shop. And I was just shopping, you know, I was pushing my cart, and this woman is just staring at me, older lady, and she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, hey, like, lady I've never seen before. How you doing? I'm just doing a little shopping, girl. What are you doing? She's like, you're the girl from TikTok. I'm like, yep, yeah, like I live the town over. Like we are not the Real Housewives. We literally live a day to day. I still have a 9 to 5. Like people are so starstruck, and it's so strange to me. Or I'll get home and I'll check my DMs, and there will be somebody that's like, hey, I saw you at Walmart today, girl, but I was so scared I didn't want to come out and say anything. I'm like, please do, but prepare. It's going to be awkward because people will come up and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I saw this video of Reese and Evan, and how old is he now? And I'm like, and who are you? Like, it's just really weird for you to know everything about me, but I put it all out there. So
but that's kind of the beautiful thing is they feel like
so
they're part
close
of
to
your
me.
family.
Yep.
They feel like they're your close friend.
And I love it. I genuinely have the best group of women following me. Like, and men too, but it's mainly women. Most of mine are women. And they are the most supportive, the kindest. Like, I genuinely love my following. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this or that.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, I love these.
There's some that I'm just going to go off the cuff, but some that I've written down. Tesla or Ford?
Ford.
Okay. Beer or margaritas?
Beer.
Podcasts or TikToks?
TikToks.
Okay, TikTok dances.
Mm-mm. Immediately no.
Okay.
What's the other one? TikTok dances or
trending sounds.
Trending sounds. Never TikTok dances. No.
Do you feel like Hawk 2 Girl is going to be a thing?
She already is a thing. Have you seen that? Like.
But do you think it will be sustained?
Oh no, it's gonna fade out. That's gonna fade out.
So today she just signed. She's like signing a deal for a reality TV show.
Are you serious?
Seriously.
Then it might be something that continues. Yeah. But that was crazy. Like instant fame, and she's from Tennessee.
Yeah, it's nuts. So speaking of Tennessee, you're in a small town. I know you're probably not going to move to LA or anything like that, but would you ever consider like, branching off to a bigger town with the family?
No.
No?
No, I'm staying in Henderson. That's where I was born and raised. It's where I've always been. It's a great school system. I have close family there. I don't care where anything takes me. I'm staying in Henderson. It's just what I know. And I know that sounds so backwards. Like,
No,
why would
it's
you not
fine.
use this opportunity to go and do, I like my little house and my little, at the end of a cove and little country life. I love it.
But that's the thing, like, these platforms have made the world smaller,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, it used to be a thing where you'd immediately go to LA the second
Oh,
you
yeah.
get famous, right? And now you don't need to do that, right? Like,
Do
you
it
can
from
live
home.
wherever and just, and you could never have to leave your home and have the biggest following.
Yep.
Would you ever hire a manager?
I need to. If I'm being real, if I were to quit my full-time job and do this full-time, I think I would have to hire a manager just because the amount of stuff that I have to just leave sitting is overwhelming. It's already overwhelming working a full-time job. I'm also a mother of two. We have baseball, we have dinners, we have movies, we have all the things. And then I'm trying to do TikTok on the side. So yeah, I probably need to do that. Have I not talked to you about this? My sister, I have talked to her about it. And I'm like, could you please? She has 3 kids.
I have the email.
Yeah, so-
of the stuff that she would need me to do, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, I gave her my email and my password, and she logged in, and she's like, "Holy shit, man!" She was like, "I can't do this," and I'm like, "I'm telling you," and I'm trying to do all of it myself. And so when people reach out to me and they don't hear back from me, I promise you, like, it's crazy over here. So yeah. I need to.
No, I believe it. I know we, so just so everyone knows, like, my relationship with Emily, like, she started working with Southern Grace, my company, 4 years ago, right?
It was 4 years
During
ago.
COVID.
It was.
And it was really early on. Yeah. It was really early on, like when you had just started. And I got fascinated with TikTok really early. And when I came across your stuff, I was like, oh my God, she's like the perfect ambassador for our brand. And so then we had you do a bunch of content for us. We'd send you boxes and things like that. And now on a regular basis, you're going live for our wholesale community.
I am.
And
love it.
yeah, and so of course, you've stolen hearts there too. But you know, she's in town, and so I asked her to sit down with for the podcast. And Erin, her sister, also joined her. And so that's why I was saying Erin would probably, after getting to know Erin, I think you'd be a great manager for your sister.
Yes, you would. Forget the fact that you have 3 kids. I need you to be my manager. And like, look, and now that you know like what the life's like, I'm gonna need you to come start helping me like
I
set all my
offered to
stuff
do
up.
that. You said no.
I feel like I don't want to be a burden, but yeah, I love my sister.
She's good people. Well, both of you guys are. And honestly, it's been such an honor, like, hanging out with you guys the last day and a half. And you guys are awesome people, and just really...
I love Southern Grace. Like, you and your wife, you and Ashi are precious. We went out last night. We had the best time. I feel like we had really good conversation.
Yeah.
You guys are just the most welcoming. And your group here, like, everybody that works here, like, makes it a point to stop, talk to you, make you feel special. And it's been, like, I love you guys. Like,
Well, we love you too. And honestly, I have a saying here that we only hire good people, right? And so I take that very seriously. Like, if you're not a welcoming person, if you're not, like, for me, it's not going to work out long term. And that's just, one of our pillars is to uplift others. And so that's something that we take very seriously. But I'm glad you felt that. And
oh
that's
my
good.
gosh, I have. Both times that I've been here, I'm like, you guys are such good folks. Like,
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for this time. We're going to post it in a couple weeks, but you know, we'll make sure you guys we'll get the word out about the show.
yes. Thank you for having me.
Cool.
It's been so awesome.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
Yay!
You did your first podcast.
I know. I'm so excited. How long does it take you to edit it? A couple weeks?
So we have a
He doesn't have anything else going on.
Yeah, I know you don't have anything else going on.
we have a higher
Men go mad.
He's gone mad.
Mad Men.
You're bad.
The man's mad.
Mad Men.
I'm mad.